Hi YouTube, welcome back to Wtf Rc Cars. So today we've got an addition to the advanced dual steering and dual braking system that I set up for Rick, one of the guys that drives for FLYSKY, drives the big fifth scales. He's got quite a complex setup, and what he needs is a way to have sort of a line lock. The dual steering setup consists of two totally separate servos, so I will link in the end of this video the link to the advanced setup that I made him for the FLYSKY Noble Pro and NB4 Pro Plus. It works on both them, but basically it lets you control both of the steering servos separate, both the throttle and brake servo separate, because in a fifth scale you got one doing brakes and throttle. So on this one I'm going to show you how to set up a line lock mix to allow you to change the amount of braking to just lock the front brakes, let you basically do a burnout with rear ones to get some heat in your tyres, and assign it to just one dial so you can turn it straight off and it doesn't affect any of the other advanced braking mix setup that you've got running. So let's bring in for a close-up look. I'll try and keep this as simple as possible and explain it the best way I can, but I'll show you the effect on the transmitter, what it does, and explain how we've got some of these channels set up. But you really need to watch the advanced dual steering, dual brake setup video, and as I say, I will link that at the end of the video. So let's bring in for a close-up look and see what sort of mess we can get into with this one. So what we need to achieve on this, if we look, we've got channels 3 and 4 that are our steering servos. For us throttle, it's just channel 5. For braking, it's 5 and 6. So basically, what we're going to need to do is brake channel 6. Channel 5 does the throttle and the brake for the rear. Channel 6 is a mix that you've got a controllable offset to change the brake bias. But what we need to set up, and what I've got set up on this top dial, he wants that as the on-off. So if we switch that, we can then see we've got an amount of braking on channel 6. We can add throttle and it doesn't take the braking off. If we add more brake, we can then brake if we need to. But basically, we can do a burnout and then we can just switch this off. And then as brake and throttle both work as they should do. Now, first off, on this, we need to set up another mix. So we'll go into as mixers, program mix, go down to mix 4. And as you can see, as I move this dial, it turns mix 4 on and off. So basically we've got as master channel as 7, as slave channel as 6, we've got low side mix, high side mix, and then as offset. And in this offset, if we turn this mix on, we can then change the amount of braking. So we can take the amount on or off. So basically you can just add this where is necessary to lock the front brake. Then if we back out and we go into as assignment, and you can see VR1. So we've set this to 2 position. We've set the function as mix 4. So you go into function, scroll down through all your mixers, and then we've got it set to mix 4. That enables us to turn mix 4 on and off. Direction, you can swap this whether you want it to enable in the forward position or back. We've set it to 2 positions, so at the minute if you push the lever forward you'll get it turned on. If we reverse it, if you push the lever back you'll get it turned on, forward you'll get it turned off. So basically the main takeaway of this is mix 4 and have it set to 2 position. Then set your direction to whether you want the forward position to be on or off. If you set it to reverse, the forward position is on, back position is off. And then basically we can turn as line lock on. We've got as predetermined amount of brake set. We can add throttle. If we do brake, it will brake harder. So if it does start to run away, you can hit brakes. And then as soon as you roll this back, you've got your braking back and the mix will work as it was set up originally. We've also got trim that we can alter on that. So yeah, hopefully that's exactly what you wanted. But your main takeaway is roll the switch forward. You've got your predetermined amount of brake. So you can add throttle now, do a burnout, get some heat in your tyres, and then roll the dial to the rear position, and then you're back to correct braking and throttle as it always was. So if you really wanted to set this dial to fully variable, we can also go in, we can set the left hand side one, we can set that to normal, we can go into function, and then if we scroll all the way down to, I think it'll be mix for offset, there's a hell of a lot of options we've got on here. So if we go to mix for offset and set that, we can then come out, and then when we roll this dial forward to enable it, we've then got fully variable control in real time of the amount of braking. Rick did say that's not necessary for his use. He's going to set it once and forget it. You would have to remove the multi-position dials and put the variable dial on to be able to do this. But it's just another option if you wanted to add full control to the amount of brake once the line locks on. And again, as soon as you turn it off, it's back to normal functionality, and nothing will affect the functionality of the RC when you're driving. The only way to affect it is to roll this forward, turn your line lock on, and then you've got your front brakes locked, and your back ones, you can do your burnout, get heat in your tyres, and then turn it off, and you're straight back up to normal. So hopefully, Rick, that is what you wanted. And anybody else that is interested in an incredibly complicated advanced 2 steering servo, 2 brake servo setup, it was fascinating creating this. Really enjoyed it. We've got different rates that we can change for the brakes. There's also, we've got steering dual rate, we've got the offset on one of these, so we've got the offset that we use to trim the steering servos. So yeah, there's an awful lot going off with this setup, but apparently it does work really well. As I say, I will link the original full setup video, but this one was just for adding line lock to allow burnout, basically, to get some heat in the tyres. So let's wrap this one up. So there you have it. Incredibly enhanced, advanced setup that you can do with the NB4 Pro or Pro Plus. And for these larger fifth scales, it just adds that little bit of realism to it, being able to have a proper line lock. You can do your burnout, you can hit the dial, knock the mix off, and then you're full to completely back to stock how you wanted it for the race. So yeah, hopefully Rick and anybody else running the big fifth scale cars, you could use this in any smaller ones if you've got enough room for separate servos for your throttle and brake. Definitely doable in nitro, but yeah, hopefully you find that useful, entertaining, or a bit of both. But thanks again for watching Wtf Rc Cars. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, share to friends and family, and catch you guys again in the next one. And no, none of you saw that. Shh. It's not here.